So our folk art project today is designed to look like embroidery. This is an embroidered piece with yarn. It is inside of a hoop and there's a screw at the top which helps to close the hoop tight. We're going to start with our paper that we shove a circle on it. Ignore that extra line on the left. I just didn't fully erase it. So we're going to draw the screw at the top of the embroidery hoop. And again, you tighten that up to kind of tighten the hoop around your fabric. So just kind of follow, we've got two lines and then the screw is just going to go through them. So we're going to be making like a triangle, except for instead of coming to a sharp point, we're going to have it just come off of that line that you made and then make a triangle. Anyway. Take a look at the drawing. It's better than my words. Parallel lines across and then have it come out the other side. And you know, a screw has those threads that run down the screw and it comes to a point, and that's just kind of what we're drawing there on the end. So once you have that, you are going to trace the inside of your circle, just a thin line, and that's just creating that hoop that your embroidery work is inside of. So one little tip, if you're drawing like a curved line, you see my fingers aren't moving. I'm bending at my wrist only. And if you kind of move your wrist up and down, you'll see that it naturally makes like an arc shape. So if I pivot just on my wrist and bend my wrist, it gives me the curve of that circle. That's just kind of a little tip for drawing curved lines. So to move at your wrist. So once we get to the top near where the screw is, the border is going to kind of thin out. Then our next step is going to be to choose the design that goes in the center. We want to have one focal point in the center. I'm giving you some reference pictures that you can kind of pick and choose from, or maybe they kind of spark an idea, but you have a different idea. So in the center, we want a focal point. I'm going to draw a bird. It's a very simple bird. And then we want to put symmetrical designs around the bird. So there's my bird. Then I kind of look around and maybe I'll put a flower. I'm not really sure. So I'm going to try to redraw this flower. And again, I want some symmetry. So whatever I draw to that bottom left of the bird, I want to draw the same thing to the bottom right of the bird. And then again, I'm just kind of looking around for some designs that I might like to use. I like that one. So I'm going to put that at the bottom. Kind of another little flower shape, kind of like reminds me of a lily flower. And I was trying to figure out what to put at the top. Ultimately, I decided, again, to keep it symmetrical and just use the same design from the bottom. Then I could leave it like that, and I'm okay with some empty space, but I thought just a little design to the left and to the right of the bird might be kind of nice. But you can also leave some empty space in there, and that would be called the negative space. So once you have your image drawn in pencil, now we want to color it in with markers. I'm going to start with the embroidery hoop in brown. I mean, you could make it yellow. I guess you could make it just any color you want. And then that screw at the top. And now for the images on the inside for your design work, you want to block in color for every section that you have. So if you notice on the bird, I have too big of a section. See how this bird is divided up into smaller parts? So I actually want to go in and section off the larger parts of this bird. So remember, Every little section is going to have its own color inside of it. And so this embroidery is, it's created actually with thread. And so you work in little sections. So that's why we want to section it off as much as possible. Okay, and now that I have all the little sections, each little section will get its own color of marker. And I would suggest doing your entire design work in the marker first. Like I'm gonna do the whole bird here, but then I'm gonna not do the rest yet. I'm gonna show you the next step. But I would say go ahead and color in all of your design with the marker first before you move to the Sharpie and the white oil pastel. But let's take a look at what we're gonna do here. Using a Sharpie, we want to give the idea of thread is being used to sew this, and it's creating like shadows and highlights. So we're going to take the Sharpie and follow the bottom of each section, one section at a time. So we're kind of like wrapping around we're making horizontal line following the bottom of the section. And then from that horizontal line right there, we're going to make little vertical lines. There we go, little vertical lines, different heights, just kind of staggering them up and down. And think about how the thread is being sewn onto the embroidery hoop, onto the fabric. So something kind of like this, just little up and down lines. But you want to, again, trace the bottom of your section first, just the bottom part, kind of wrap around the corners a little bit, see how I kind of wrap it around, but then make sure that your black lines go up and down vertical. Every little section. And don't forget the bottom of your embroidery hoop also. Okay, so let's pretend I did the whole thing. Then my last step will be to go in with the white oil pastel. And now I'm going to come from the top of each section. I'm not going to trace the top line like I did with the black oil pastel. Instead, I'm just going to come down with vertical lines that follow the top of each section. I know it's a little difficult to hold. Maybe I got a little tiny oil pastel there, so it's kind of chunky to work with. It's nothing perfect here. Don't worry about it. Just kind of some quick vertical lines coming down each section. So you're going to complete the entire project like this. And that is it. Color blocking in first, doing the black Sharpie like a shadow, and then coming down with the white oil pastel, kind of like a highlight showing how the thread is moving through the project. And that is it.